Hey everyone, my name is Jace, and Jesus, I cannot break this community manager thing, I swear to God. Hey everyone, my name is Jace, aka Gemballs, and I'm a solo game developer and kind of like a content creator, I guess, living here in Sweden, working on my dream little game. That's right, I sure am. Now, a few weeks back, I started the actual development and I started doing it live on stream. So I actually do dev streams every Tuesday and Thursday where I work on my game live. I also work on my game between those streams as well. But I did my first ever like actual dev stream for work that will go towards my game a few weeks back. And I'm using the game engine called Godot, and it was my first time ever using Godot as well. And so I streamed my first look. This is a blind speed run of Godot. My first look at the engine, my first days, moments of development, I streamed it. And so what I wanted to do was just showcase some highlights from that stream here. But if you want to watch the entire stream, it's a little bit painful because things don't go as smoothly as I would have hoped. But if you want to watch the entire live stream, I'll put it up here in the cards, and that will be on my VODs channel, which you can also subscribe to if you want to check out all my VODs, because there's a lot more things that I do than that actually makes it here on this channel. All right, so without further ado, let's roll the clips. Welcome everyone. Today's the first day of development. It's going to be fun. So I was setting up Git, all right, in Godot. So if you guys don't know, Git is version control. And basically that means you can submit your changes to a server. And if anything goes wrong, you can like revert back. Or if I want to like, you know, copy the project to a different computer, I can just pull it down from the server. And Godot has Git built in, right? And so I was like, cool, let's do this. And I was like, all right, looks like I need to get a plugin. But there's an official Git plugin. I'm like, all right, this is going to be fine, right? I grab the plugin and I install it, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I get error messages, and I'm like, wait, did I install it wrong? So like, I uninstalled everything. I uninstalled Godot completely, and I did a completely fresh install. Maybe I fucked something up somewhere. No, just didn't work. I was like, what? I mean, this is the first thing that I'm doing today. How is it not working? It's an official plugin. So I start learning a little bit more how the plugins work. This is how I'm spending my time. I'm Googling around. There isn't like an immediate answer. I have to go into the plugin. I have to like start editing its config file to like set like a version number or whatever. And then there's like another error. And I'm like, geez, what's this error? And then it turns out that there was a change from 4.0 to 4.1 that broke some GD extension thing, so that this plugin and maybe other plugins like just don't work anymore. I was like, okay, whatever. So like I spent one entire hour of not integrating Git into the engine. The good thing is I don't need to integrate it. I can just do things manually with the GUI or like command line, but also I'm using Visual Studio Code, and I can, you know, I've got Git in there, so I can just use that anyway, so it's no problem. And then the next thing, oh my God, this is so stupid. This one's on me completely. I'm setting up Visual Code for Godot. I don't know if I'm going to use Visual Code or not, but it seems fine, so we'll just roll with it for now. And that's like a programming, like a code editing software. You guys will see it. And I was setting that up for Godot. So I'm like, you know, I want like code completion and things like that in there. You need to run a command, the specific command to generate some files in the command palette, right? And I was like, I don't know what a command palette is. The tutorial says Control P to open the command palette. So I'm like, all right, Control P. And then it was like run something, so like some command, whatever. And I typed the command in, and it wasn't appearing down here. I was like, what? So then I went on this massive like goose chase of like, why are my extensions commands not appearing in the command palette? And I'm just running all over the place, right? Looking for stuff, and I can't find anything. And then I find this like one post saying that, well, there's this one extension that breaks the command palette for literally everyone, but I don't have that, but maybe one of the other extensions that I got has it. So I start like tearing out all of my extensions, and then I'm like, all right, I don't know what's going on here. I'm gonna start from basics. First of all, what the hell is a command palette? Right? I don't even know what that is. So I'm gonna Google it. So I went straight to like Visual Studio's like website. There's information about command palette, and they're like, to open the command palette, you press Control Shift P. I was like, wait, no, wait, the other thing said Control P. I pressed Control Shift P. There it is. It's all there. that was it. That was one more hour. One more hour gone. Oh. Average programming day, exactly. So if there's any of you who are programmers, you're going to be like, we've been there before. Yep. Anyone who, if you've not been a programmer before, or if you've not made games before or software, this is like, this is what it looks like. It's this trash. It's this frustrating. So actually, one thing I want to kind of interject with real quick here is right here in the middle of the screen, it says show all commands, Control-Shift-P. And so that's the solution. That it was like right there, right? Like, how did I not see that? Well, the reason I didn't see it is because if you have any code file open, that little screen there, you can't see that. The code is there instead, right? So for the majority of the time that I was trying to work through this, this shortcut wasn't actually available, right? I had code files open. Not only that, it doesn't say command palette, and I was following a tutorial, and the tutorial said command palette, okay? So I didn't know what the difference was. I get it now looking back. Anyway, all right? This is what learning is like. Moving on. So today, what I want to work on, movement, collision, and then if we can get some interaction going where I can, you know, press a button to interact with something, that'll be cool. And then if all of that goes well, I want to get familiar with the UI, right? I want to just try to make some basic UI and just kind of look into that system and see how it goes. So I want to make some movement. I don't think I want to like think too far ahead of how I want to structure my code or my player character or my movement and things like that at the moment. But for now, I think I'll just make a little script here. How come that you decided to go with Godot? Going with Godot because Unreal Engine is going to be way too much for my game, and so that's one. Unreal Engine is incredibly like beefy and heavy, and kind of frustratingly slow and awkward. And that's fine when you're doing like bigger games because you need all that stuff. But for this game, I could make it in almost anything. And then I'm not going to go with Unity because I've used Unity before. I just don't want to use Unity. And Godot is open source and there's no like licensed stuff in the future. So I don't ever have to worry about like paying royalties to whatever. So that's another reason too. There's no like, yeah. So those are my reasons. And Godot is really quick to use. And yeah, should have everything I need. So I'm trying to pick the parent of this class that I'm going to make. I'm pretty sure I could probably just use anything if I want to move it around. But if I want to display like a sprite or something and you know, move that around, I might want to pick a different inherit from a different class. I don't really know what's good here. I think for now it doesn't really matter. We could probably just go with like a regular node for now. Yeah. So in here then I want to add a child node. Okay, there's a node 2D here. A 2D game object inherited by all 2D related nodes is position, rotation, scale, index, and Z index. That sounds pretty good. Animated sprite 2D. Sprite node that contains multiple textures as frames to play for animation. Sounds like what we want. Sprite 2D. General purpose sprite node. And okay, so we probably want sprite 2D for this. Eventually, for like characters that move around, that probably need to be animated sprite 2Ds. Okay, we can probably just take this one. Can I paint yet? When do I get to paint? Oh! Oh my God, now we are gaming. Holy cow. Can you believe it? I certainly can't. Oh my God. What is this? Can you believe it? Incredible. We're done. Do they have a name? Their name is the first name is Main and their last name is Anime Protagonist. It's a strange name, but it's fairly common in some parts of the world. Often some parts in the internet, actually, you find a lot of people with that kind of name, yeah. Like I'm looking at a real person. I mean, look at this guy. Make character move. Godot tutorial. I'm seeing some get access, input.get access. That's what I'm looking for. Jeez. Oh, and get joy access. Interesting. And then I'll probably have the name. Negative action, positive action. Interesting. Move X minus. This feels strange to me, but let's just keep rolling with it for now. Okay, that's x plus and minus. So we look down the bottom here, we should get some stuff. You guys can't see, actually. Let me do this. Got some numbers down here. There we are, and they're changing. Well, one of them is changing. We get this. There we go. We got 1 when I hold left, and then -1 when I hold right. It should be the other way around, but we can look into why that is. Why is that? This says, oh, negative action first. Yeah, that's why. So that does make sense. All right, now we should just move the character. We have our inputs. We have the inputs that we need. Might as well just move the character. I mean, I would do it. Okay. How do we move characters? Transform.x, that's it. .x and y. Ah, string. Ah. Y plus. Like this. This gets input vector, returns a vector 2. By default, the dead zone is automatically calculated from the average of the action dead zones. Interesting. What's the issue with this? Is this a value to... Roslyn? Roslin's here is always on my ass, dude. Come on, Roslyn. Give me a break. So this is an inbuilt movement function. Probably does stuff like helps you push against walls. Moves the body based on character body 2D velocity. If the body collides with another, it will slide along the other body. Right. Okay, let's just go with that for now. So instead, you don't... Right. So it seems like you don't manually move the transform of the thing around. There are these like helper functions, like move and slide. There was like move and collide as well, wasn't there? Move and collide, which probably does some other behavior. And which I can look into another time. And those will take care of the movement. So let's give this a shot, see if this works. Here it is. Here it is. Are you guys ready? Are you guys fucking ready? This is gonna be it. Oh, he's going! Look at him go! Oh my god! Look at that! Holy shit! Controller? Oh, we got controller support! Woo! Yeah! Look at him go! There's no stopping this guy. Holy shit! Can you believe it? To 420? Yeah, we can do that. Gas, gas, gas! We're gonna step on the gas tonight! Let's make a shitty tree. Time for a shitty tree. That looks like a fucking ball sack. Oh, Jesus. I saw my fucking Twitch career flash before my eyes. So this next bit is, as you've seen, I've been working with tile maps and I've been painting tiles. All of a sudden, I started like trying to paint tiles and it started deleting my tiles. And I was like, why the hell are my tiles being deleted? Anyway, watch. Paint. Are these not included? It should be. Because I know I deleted these ones, right? And then I can add them back in. Somehow I added them back in. Setup. Create tiles. Disable eraser. Look, I'm not I'm not the fucking smartest person in the world, but there's no way. Paint properties. And then I can choose a thing that I want. Okay, so this is properties baked into the tiles that I don't want to edit, I think. So I go to the tile map instead. These are the ones that I've deselected, so I can't select these anymore. But when I paint things, they disappear. This is blue? But this is blue! Oh, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Okay. Eat my ass. Now, this actually does make sense. So it wasn't intuitive to me in the beginning, right? But I did come to learn later that this actually is a pretty decent feature because the plus side here is having the eraser function and how you draw the tile maps, having those separate has this like added benefit where I can draw my tiles with a pen, I can draw my tiles with a line, I can also draw my tiles with a rectangle, but I can, if I turn the eraser on, I can also erase with the pen, also erase with a line, and then also erase with a rectangle. So it's actually pretty convenient, but initially it wasn't intuitive to me. I didn't notice, right? I thought if I clicked the eraser thing, I would deselect the drawing anyway. So that's how it was intuitively to me. But now that I know how it works, like, I actually like this system. This next part might be a little bit confusing to people who are not game developers, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a bit of lore here, a little bit of a tiny game dev lesson, okay? So in game development, if you ever want to move something, for example, moving, this can apply in other situations too, but if you want to move something, it might have a speed, and you might say its speed is 1, right? And every frame, we want to move it to the right 1 unit, okay? And that's fine. Every frame, the thing, your character, whatever it is, will move 1 unit per frame. Now, this is great. You know, if you're running at 60 FPS, that means every second you will have moved 60 units. However, if you're running at 30 FPS, you will only move 30 units because it's 30, there's only 30 frames per second, so you would only move 1 unit 30 times per second, right? And if you're running at 120 frames per second, you would move 120 units per second, right? Having your motion or your speed be tied to your FPS, because as gamers we all know, not everyone runs at the same FPS. FPS is not always stable, it can fluctuate. So having your movement speed be tied to your FPS is not a good thing. So what you want to do, what game developers do instead, is they multiply some movement speed by the amount of time it has taken since the last frame happened. So if a frame takes a little longer, then you move a little further. If the frame is a bit quicker, then you move a little less. And the way this ends up working out over, like, let's say the duration of a second, is that if I have a movement speed of 100 units per second, regardless of my FPS, if I keep multiplying that 100 by the amount of time since the last frame, over 1 second, I will have moved 100 units. That's how this works. So this smooths out motion regardless of your frame time. So motion and frame speed are independent of each other, basically. And this was a moment where I was trying to move my character, and I was running into this weird, confusing thing where the movement function that would move my character seemingly did that calculation under the hood without me explicitly doing it, which was strange to me because I felt like I should have been doing it. So I'm going to let this play, and this is like the mental gymnastics that I went through. But then after the fact, I actually want to make a bit of a correction because I did come to the right conclusion in the end, but I don't think that, like, the process how I got, there's some details that were wrong, and I'll spell those out afterwards. Over the span of 1 second, I will move movement speed if I keep multiplying it by delta, even if my frame speed, my time between frames changes. And in this case, that's the case because I'm actually changing the position directly. But in this case, what I'm doing is I'm setting a velocity. And a velocity isn't a different location. I'm not moving something. A velocity just says, this is the direction we're going to be going and how much we're going to be going over time. And then under the hood, I guess it does this part for me. It says, if I have this velocity, then on this frame, we will move this far in order to achieve that velocity. That's what's happening under the hood. That's for the non-seasoned veterans in the chat, if any. Okay, so the major thing that was wrong here was that I did some weird mental gymnastics going, well, I guess velocities mean something else, which means they automatically inherently have this, like, frame independent, element to it, because I wasn't, I haven't done programming in a while. I was a little bit rusty. I was like, maybe that's the case. Maybe this is something I just forgot. And no, it's not actually something I forgot. My initial intention was perfectly normal and perfectly correct and perfectly right. And it actually applies to velocities as well. You would typically multiply your velocity before moving by your delta, which is the amount of time since the last frame. You would do that. It's just that with this particular function in Godot, move and slide, it does that under the hood. If you use move and collide, which is a different function to move, that one doesn't do it under the hood, right? So that's just simply it. It's just different for move and slide. That's all. It just automatically does it there, and you just need to know that it does. Now, I didn't realize this because I didn't read the docs carefully, and I didn't see the big yellow box right there in the documentation that says for move and slide, you do not need to multiply by delta. It is done under the hood. So that's my bad. I didn't see that, okay? But yeah, so that's how that played out. I know that now. This is bonkers. I didn't even realize this is part of game development. You're learning. You're going to learn a lot of things that are part of game development that game developers don't generally show, including this like awkward struggle that I have right now that I think a lot of game developers are too ashamed to show, but it's really what it's like. This next bit here was me trying to change the size of the window in Godot. Unfortunately, the way I was doing the display capture, I've changed things a bit now. You couldn't see the window where I was messing with the window size settings, but I don't know, I think it's just kind of funny. Just check out, here's me trying to change the window size and the outcome. How do I up my resolution? Project settings. General. Resolution. Application run. How do I make the window? Here, window. You guys can't see this. Close. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Godot. Helps a lot. Oh, you want a bigger window? You got it, Chief. So as you can probably tell throughout this stream, I was struggling a little bit with some basic stuff, but this is what kind of happens with new engines. And the viewer Baratalk actually wrote something in the chat there, and they were 100% right. This is what they said. This will get easier over time when you're less confused by everything. Absolutely, yeah. I actually, like, I don't know how it feels for you guys watching. I actually love this, like, because I know that like this precise process here is like 100% the quickest I'm going to be learning, like I've learned so many things already just from today, and like that friction that I'm feeling, like that's fucking learning. That's what it is, and I know it's happening. So I'm super happy. I'm super excited. Like I'm good. I'm super good. So yeah, I'm really happy with the progress today. One of the next things that I was bashing my head against the wall trying to figure out in Godot as well was this concept called Y sorting. Now, Y sorting in pixel art games, I think these apply to top-down pixel art games where you sort of walk around up and down, kind of thing. And basically what this means is if you can imagine the screen as like an X and Y axis, on the Y axis, which is the vertical axis, what we're saying here is we will sort which sprites are in front of the other based on their Y coordinate. I.e., the lower down something is on the screen, the more forward it is. So if you are standing in front of something on the screen, your sprite will appear over the top of it, right? As opposed to if you're above it, right? Like the y-axis, you're like above it on the screen, then you're technically behind it. So then therefore your sprite should render behind the other thing. So that's what Y sorting is. Based on the Y value of your position of your sprite, what order should it be drawn in? That's basically what Y sorting is. And this was me trying to deal with that. So these ones currently, what happens with these? They're currently always so at this point I should be in front of it. Okay, so those ones need to be, all of these ones here need to be Z index 1. That's this one, how do I, like that, okay? Those need to be Z index 1. It could be that all of these need to be Z index 1, but their Y offsets need to be like really, really, really low. Okay, let's try and reason my way through this one and not just push random numbers. I'll make this 32, that's gonna be on the line, right? Yeah. So if I make that 64, that's one whole tile down. Then plus 12 is 76. That feels really hard codey though. Is it though? I mean, maybe this will be standardized later when I have a better idea of how big my tiles are, how big my characters are, things like that. Oh, let's fucking go! Oh, actually good. Okay. Okay. So we don't have Z, Y sorting on this yet. We can do that. Request an accent. Accent for Jace Sprite in Godot, please. All right. Yeah. Okay, give me 1 second.
Balls are touching.
It's true. Howdy, partner. My name's Jason. I'm a little sprite, and I'm perfectly Y-sorted. Vamonos! The downside here is that it's very hard for me to get back to my scene the way that it was. Hang on a second. I'm stuck. I'm fucking stuck. I can't get back. Help! Oh my god. Grid snap. Oh, look at this. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. That's kind of what I was looking for before. Does that mean, wait, can I paint? Grid snap. You guys can't see that. So if I take this, that means with this tool, I can paint this. Oh, look at that! You just paint it on! You guys see that? Oh, not bad, not bad. So, you know, there could be like some Y sorting on this part down the bottom. That would need fixing. There's the Y sorting on the tree that needs fixing. But we learned quite a bit today. Learned quite a bit. So yeah, first of all, I do want to apologize to any Godot experts out there. This must have been really painful to watch. But I have actually been working in Godot every day since, apart from weekends, basically. And I've grown much more accustomed to the engine now. And I feel like things are much smoother. But there are still a few things that like I still get caught up on every time I get to a new part of the engine. But that's just what the learning process is like. And as I keep working in the engine, things are just going to get more and more smooth. But so far, I'm really enjoying my time working on my game. I'm also enjoying working on Godot. And I really enjoy doing the live dev streams too. So if you would like to watch my live dev streams, you can always catch me on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 p.m. CET, Sweden time, CEST. I don't know which one we're in right now. 1 p.m. on Tuesday and Thursdays. I might move Tuesdays ones back to noon. We'll see. Keep an eye out. But also, if you can't catch me live at those times, you could always check out the VODs channel and subscribe to that. I'll put a link up here to the playlist of all the game dev related VODs. So if you want to watch the entire things and see what that process is actually like of making a game in Godot, then you can come hang out and check out those vids. Perfect second monitor content for you. Okay, and so that's all. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please leave a like. Do consider subscribing, and I'll catch you all next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.